All right. Welcome to another edition of Vegas Badboyz, the podcasting. I'm DJ Impact, and I got the Badboyz here with me. Sin City Steve, Simon Street, Matt Michaels. We're happy to be here with you. If you're on Facebook and you have the ability to use your chat, please do. We want to get your comments in as we see fit. We love to hear your comments as we're getting ready to talk about this past week wrestling shows. So just welcome everybody. All right, guys, let's get right into it. We always kick off with WWE Raw and Smackdown. Everything seems to be leading to Crown Jewel. You know, to be completely honest, I want to watch this so bad. I mean, they've done a good job with the matches. They've done a good job hyping it. I mean, it's everything you want it to be going into an event. And I just can't do it, man. I want to do it. I mean, do you guys feel me in this situation? I mean, I don't
1,000%.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Anyway, everything, of course, is leading up to that. And so let's just get right into it. What was your take on the shows this week? I know we also had the King of the Ring. I guess that's definitely something worth mentioning. We have Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. That would be
Someone gonna be on.
that was on SmackDown, right?
Was it SmackDown? Yeah.
Yeah, that was on SmackDown. Okay. And then it's going to be between Jinder Mahal versus Xavier Woods. Okay. All right. So what do you guys think this King of the Ring is going so far? What's your take on that?
I think it's interesting. I know we talked about it last week with regards to what we thought some of our picks were. And it seems like some of our picks are shaping up in that direction possibly. But I mean, I'm entertained. I'm not going to say I'm so entertained that it's the best thing that happened all week as far as WWE is concerned, but it was more entertaining than it has been in the past.
Is everybody still in the agreement that it's going to be Jinder Mahal, or would you like to change who you think will be the King of the Ring?
My pick is Jinder Mahal all the way.
Well, considering that we won't, I mean, Raw's Monday, so we won't be recording before this happens then on Thursday in Crown Jewel. So really, yeah. I mean, it's hard to say, like, we can say Jinder Mahal, but we don't know who's going over between Mahal and Xavier. We assume it's Jinder, so it should be Jinder and Finn, we're thinking, right? But then again, there's been that theory that Xavier is owed this because what the fuck, right?
Well, I mean, and Jinder has had his moment, right? He's been champion. So that goes back with what you were saying, that maybe this could be Xavier's time. Definitely not Finn Balor's. I don't think.
Let me ask you this question. For those that may be watching this or listening, Xavier Woods, ask yourself this question. Do you want to see more of Xavier? Just Xavier. Because as you know, when you become the King of the Ring, you basically have the prop of a crown and a scepter, and you're going to be on TV every week with a coronation fucking, I don't know. I don't get excited to see Xavier a whole bunch. I like him when he's on, but seeing him every single week, I don't know. I'd rather see Jinder because he's fucking annoying.
What a coronation. Fucking.
Right. Okay. Oh, don't smile, Simon, because that graphic is coming in your teeth. Oh, boy.
Check out my grills. Check out my grills.
Oh man.
Awesome.
Well,
Scott.
Yeah, Jinder's gonna win the fucking thing. That Michaels called it originally. He had Jinder pegged as being the winner of this tournament right when it first started. So props to you, man. I hate it when you're right because then I have to actually have to give you props, unfortunately.
Well,
So.
the unfortunate part, though, too, is that if you look at the bracket of those 8 guys, it was, and they did, the women's makes less sense than anything, So at least with the guys, there's like, you can't see Xavier Wood going against Finn Balor. It just wouldn't make sense, but they could fucking do it. Okay, let's face it. They could do it. Xavier could win. Finn doesn't need it.
Finn definitely doesn't need it.
So, but most likely Mahal wins it. And, kind of what you were talking about in terms of, Simon, the idea of seeing Xavier all the time. You're going to see Jinder all the time, but Jinder's still going to have his little lackey. If Xavier wins it, he's still going to have, his little lackey who's the WWE champion. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, Jinder most likely wins it. Can't really go against that, but that women's bracket is shaping up to be a real shit show.
Let's jump over to that. You have Selena Vega, versus Carmella, and then you have Doudrop versus Shayna Baszler.
I got this one. I got my pick after this. Zelina Vega all the way. And the reason why I say that, A, she needs it more. B, I think she could do a hell of a job, way better than Carmella. I think a lot of people don't want to see Carmella unless she's repackaged. Maybe not great.
Time out.
Yeah.
Guys, Selena Vega beat Carmella.
Right. Exactly.
So we're not going to see Carmella.
Well, thank goodness. So I didn't see SmackDown, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, Jesus.
But Zelina Vega, 100%. I would say Zelina Vega because I think for her.
Listen.
I'm wishing that she had lost and that you were saying that. That would have been brilliant.
Well, I know she won because whoever she faced, because I follow her on Instagram, and so she had that on there, and so that's where I took that information from. But as I did see that post, I was like, I could see Zelina Vega be like the bitchiest bitch queen ever. Just seeing her every week being fucking annoying, coming out with these cosplay outfits that she has on, it could work. Now, I do think that the Shayna Baszler and Doudrop, that's just setting up for whatever feud's going to happen in the next pay-per-view anyways. Something's going to happen, and yeah, someone will go over per se. But
they're on different shows when Crown Jewel ends. Doudrop, I think, is still on Raw, and what's her face? Shayna's on SmackDown. However, you're kind of close. I think this is going because Shayna came out and teamed quote unquote with Sonya. I got a feeling Naomi cost Shayna the match. Doudrop wins because you ain't going to see Shayna versus Zelina. Yeah.
Right.
So I got a feeling that Doudrop, they're going to give it to her.
Oh wow!
So you have one on Raw and one on SmackDown. You have one face and one heel. That's my guess.
So I do have to give them props. This week they actually doubled the amount of time that they gave the women in this tournament, from a minute and a half to this week 3 minutes and 4 minutes. Holy shit!
Every minute counts.
I'm guessing that the next round that we're going to get a 6-minute match and an 8-minute match. I don't know. Maybe they might actually let the finals go 10 minutes. I doubt it, but who knows?
You got to figure too that the most important thing that came out of the women's match this week is the fact that, boy, Carmella just really gets bugged when her face mask is being touched.
That super protective carbon fiber bedazzled fucking piece of shit mask
that you take off before you wrestle,
of course,
so that your rival can go out and pick it up and distract you and get you rolled up.
You know what I will say with regards to Carmella? You know what the problem with her is when you take...
She wears...
Well, other than the many things, when you take a B-level competitor and you try to make them an A-level competitor. She's best in a crowd. She sucks by herself. I'm sorry, baby girl. You're a beautiful woman, and I'm sure you have many gifts and talents, but you having the spotlight on just yourself is like trying to squeeze water out of rock. It just, I'm sorry, you have nothing to offer. So go find you a group, go get in that group, and you'll be fine, baby girl.
Oh shit.
Corey, that's at Simon Street. Okay.
Oh, hit me up. Hit me up.
I want you to be specific.
Please come hit me up. No problem. She's dry. You dry, girl. You so basic. So basic.
Oh man. Well, shout out to the folks in the chat, man. John, he I believe that Shayna was going to go all the way as the Queen of Spades. And he also said Naomi to the bloodline.
Well, that needs to happen. Like that. Yeah. That's something that, is long overdue.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So let's keep it going. What else kind of stood out to you all? I mean, you had a so let's talk about this. The idea that SmackDown went from becoming a 2-hour show to a 2.5, with the last half an hour being commercial free. We know why that ended up happening.
I genuinely would love to know, Impact. Why did they add an extra half hour and make the last half hour of it commercial free? I genuinely want to know, because if that's not counter programming, I don't know what the fuck is.
Okay, why don't we do this? Do you think, though, that in many cases that maybe Mr. TK just shouldn't be Twitter fingers? You know, he just shouldn't be opening his mouth and roughing up the big dog, sort of say. Right? Why? Okay. So
let me ask you this. Okay, so it's completely okay for WWE to counter program and build an entirely new show and shift it to a network a couple of years ago to pick a fight with another company.
Whoa! They didn't build a completely new show.
Let me make my point. Let me make my point, and then I'll let you speak. Okay, so they did that shit with NXT initially. They were the ones that ruffled the feathers, that picked the fight with Tony Khan and AEW initially. You can say whatever you will, but they would not have moved to USA if it wasn't for AEW. Okay, so that happened. They lost that war. We saw what happened. They had to completely hit the reset button on NXT, and now, yes, they're going to go and they're going to try to counter program AEW yet again by putting an extra half hour at the end of their show and making it commercial free. Yeah.
But wasn't it not Tony that was happy now that he feel he can go head to head with SmackDown? Wasn't it him?
No. Steve. Tony said that they beat SmackDown. Did they do it?
Hell no, they didn't.
So he's still a fucking moron.
You know what's funny though?
But it was the fact that Tony.
They got people talking.
No, Tony's a fucking genius. And I'll tell you why he's a genius. He is basically purposely poking the bear, because poking the bear gets him more spotlight, because, hey, everybody's going to watch somebody smaller get chased by a bear, but you ain't ever going to get chased by the big bear if you ain't poking it. And so right now, he's fucking with him.
The ratings didn't work for him, Simon Street.
It don't matter about the ratings. It's keeping him in the game.
But no one's watching AEW versus WWE in the ring.
You're right.
They're actually competing against each other.
But
you're literally watching one or the other.
But let me tell you this. Though. But right now, everybody's talking about it. Right now, they're talking about the counter programming. A lot of people are talking about that, so it puts you in the conversation. There's nothing wrong with being put in the conversation. The end game. Ain't gonna beat them. They're gonna beat WWE. We've known that from day one. We've known AEW head to head is never going to beat WWE. So they are gonna hold on. But the new thing that they need to shoot for doing, and I think they are starting to do it because Tony Khan is probably knows it's on his radar, is we are going to beat whatever the hell timeline WCW did. We're going to survive. And if AEW survives in 5 years, 10 years, then they would have accomplished a hell of a lot. Oh, I know, Michaels. It's not what you wanted to hear. It's fine.
It just makes no fucking sense.
How does it not make fucking sense?
Because WCW was already an established show on the network for years.
But they dropped the ball.
If you go ahead and you give them a 30-year arc, then yeah, fine. You're fine. But dude, the fact of the matter is this: Tony Khan will fucking put his own business out of fucking business sooner than anything else.
Well, I tell you what, he has a hell of a lot to mistakes of others to look at if he's smart, which you apparently say he's not, to look at, say, okay, they failed because they dropped the ball on XYZ. So I'm going to not do the same thing and do things differently. He has an opportunity.
It's a great opportunity to do things like let Arn Anderson's kid wrestle. Fucking
we're talking about
going
AEW is a family-owned business. Everybody's kid wrestles on that fucking show.
By the way, shout out to Sean. Hey, the Jaguars won their first game today. This week, AEW Dynamite is going to be fire. All right.
Yeah, they just had to go to fucking the UK to win a game.
And that's what AEW needs to do is just go to the UK, stay there, go.
So far,
be fine. Ratings galore, Tony. Go.
So by the way, from the chat, Sean says, as much as Matt Michaels kissed Matt Vandegrift's ass last week and praised him, I hope that Vandegrift signs with AEW.
Ooh,
wow. I do too, because then they'd have a wrestler on their fucking roster.
Love it. All right, man. All right. So is that it, man? I want to talk about from this past week. I mean, there was you did have the Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, Bianca match, which, by the way, that was an entertaining.
It was good
match. I like that. That was really good. Them doing that. So that calling that out. Anything else worth mentioning? Edge always does good promos. We know that.
The biggest fucking the winner of the week is Brock Lesnar, because all Brock Lesnar had to do was literally fly into an airport, get into a car, Reno down, put his feet on the table, and say, "You're a moron." That man, my advocate, already looked at the contract before you signed it, and leave.
Right.
Brilliant. Fucking awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm telling you.
The only reason Brock Lesnar would ever be in Ontario, California, was for the payday to say one line.
He for $1 million
capacity to do it.
I guarantee even right now, he still couldn't tell you where Ontario is. He don't even know where he was flown into. Okay. Like, seriously. Wow.
He thought he was already at Crown Jewel.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right. Well, good stuff there, man. I guess with that, nobody want to mention anything else about Raw and SmackDown. Let's get to the A show then. A.E. Dubs. What was going on over there with that Dynamite and Rampage?
Well, I honestly, the best thing that I saw out of 3 hours of AEW programming this week was something that they didn't even put on TV. It was something that they put on their YouTube channel. And that was Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki. And these dudes beat the fucking shit out of each other. And it was amazing, honestly. Like,
wow.
Seriously, if you did not take the time to check out that match, they went 20 minutes and it absolutely just everything that you could have expected or wanted out of this match. Yeah, they just seriously, like, both guys absolutely beat the shit out of each other.
What was the reason why that match got put into YouTube?
So it was the main event of the buy-in, and it was to
buy-in.
serve as
Whoa, time out, Mr. Counter Programming. The fucking buy-in show.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
It was essentially to serve as a lead-in to the Rampage show. So it is what it is. But seriously, go seek that match out. If you did not watch it, I cannot do it justice. And I'm not going to try to break down the entire match. It is definitely must see though. If you like strong style, if you like the New Japan type of a match where you're legitimately going to see these guys, not necessarily pull punches, not pull strikes, and actually, do some submissions that legitimately hurt. They look like they're fucking going to town on each other. They're showing bruises. They're hard weighing each other. Yeah.
And quite frankly, this is what Daniel wanted to do that he felt he couldn't do under WWE.
Yeah. So the thing is, Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki they crossed paths back before Bryan went to WWE. And this was essentially, revisiting that. And Danielson actually does credit Suzuki with, helping to shape him in his indie career. So for him to go back and revisit one of his older opponents that was a mentor to him, there were multiple layers to this storyline. Very, very solid stuff, without question.
I also like watching the Rolling Stones on stage.
Oh,
I mean, if the Rolling Stones can make a hit even at 85 years old, awesome. Why not? Elsewhere, you had Rampage itself was what it was. It started with CM Punk versus Matt Seidel. That one went exactly as you might think. CM Punk picking up the win, 14-minute match. That was them, going against the half hour of commercial-free programming on SmackDown. So, of course, they're going to trot CM Punk out there. Pretty decent match. It was what it was. Really wasn't feeling a whole lot of the AEW show, just to be completely transparent. But we did also get an in-ring debut from Junior Dos Santos in the main event of Rampage. As the Men of the Year, and Junior Dos Santos did defeat the Inner Circle, Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Jake Hager. And Dos Santos looked greener and goose shit, but I mean, realistically, it is what it is. He's obviously he's saying that he's going to have more than just this match with AEW, but I don't know if he's going to continue to train for pro wrestling, or if he's exclusively going to be going back to MMA. But I'm completely fine with the crossover that they're doing right now with American Top Team for sure.
You did have John here that said that upstart CM Punk is sure making a name for himself with all that AEW programming.
Yeah, he sure is.
Hey, man. Hey, that upstart CM Punk is at least a little greener than that young upstart Chris Jericho, who was in the main event of Rampage. So they're firing on all cylinders, man. Awesome.
Right. And Chris added to John's comment, that's kids got some upside.
And by the way, Impact, I am definitely going to make sure that I find a way to pass a message along to Minoru Suzuki and Matt, you as well, that you guys were both disrespecting him. Oh, boy. And we'll see how that goes, because Minoru Suzuki, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Shant in the chat for pointing this out. Minoru Suzuki will be in Vegas for the Impact Wrestling tapings.
Oh boy,
when they're here next week.
That'll be cool.
Awesome.
I'll pay to see that.
Yeah,
I'm going to hide behind Michaels, so I'll be all right.
Don't worry, his fucking walker won't catch us. I can't wait to see him wrestle. If he wrestles Tommy Dreamer, if he wrestles Tommy Dreamer, we better have an ambulance or two on hand. Some paddles to revive these old men.
What are you talking about? Tommy Dreamer gonna go to the Subway and get him a sandwich right after.
We can guarantee he'll be there before and after.
There you go.
Real talk, y'all boys talking that shit. Y'all better make sure y'all bring extra pair of drawers because y'all gonna shit if that man look at y'all.
You know, speaking of Rampage being a young man's show, wasn't Bobby Fish on that show too?
He was. He was actually. He was.
So well, there you go. He was.
Yeah, and elsewhere on the next night we had Saturday Night Dynamite, and yeah, there are new AAA Tag Team Champions in Los Superranas, aka the Super Frogs, aka FTR.
What did they call them? What they called them two individual names. But then it's like Gumby and Frogger or some shit like that. Somebody made a joke.
I have no idea. But yeah, so the match was Lucha Bros defending their AAA Tag Team Championship against a mystery team who were friends with Andrade El Idolo. Okay. And so that set us up for the FTR match, for FTR to come out and be the mystery team against them. Got the win after a belt shot and a low blow. And then they hit the brain buster and went home. So FTR are your new AAA Tag Team Champions.
But you know what? What pissed me off about just that scenario is that they had Punk out there doing commentary, and he fucking goes and says, "It looks like FTR." That's the only thing. Like, that match would have fucking been great if it would have been the surprise reveal and stuff. But you fucking have your, you know, your money maker go out there and just say, fuck it. And I bet you no one was in his ear. He just fucking did it.
He did also make the first slip up of anyone on commentary and actually called Bryan Danielson Daniel Bryan too. Yeah. Somehow, some way, the AEW commentary team has evaded that until this moment and leave it up to fucking CM Punk to be the one to fuck it up.
He can do no wrong.
They figured that JR would have called him a woman at some point, but he didn't. You know, so that's good.
Oh,
maybe because JR done fucked up so much on commentary that is, you know, CM Punk has to fuck up 10 more times just to reach that standard that JR has given us.
Dude, we're gonna have to knock out a couple of your teeth to have you have this look all the time.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I got my mouthpiece and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight somebody. Let's fucking do it.
That's funny.
Come on, I fucking fight all you fuckers. Let's go.
Jesus.
Oh man.
As far as that goes, there was Dark Order versus Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. Of course, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks pick up the win. I was pleasantly surprised with how much offense the Dark Order was actually given in this match, though. It was a fun back and forth, even including Evil Uno busting out Mr. Sacco.
Wow.
Yeah. The crowd popped for it. I mean, if you're going to go according to crowd reactions, I mean, the crowd loved that shit. So, but obviously Cole and the Bucks pick up the win, to absolutely no one's surprise. And yeah, there's that. And then finally, in your main event of Dynamite, you had the two young upstarts, if you will, Bobby Fish versus Bryan Danielson. And Danielson picks up the win in 13 minutes after getting Bobby Fish to tap out. So elsewhere, they did announce.
I'm sorry, Steve. I'm just glad I finally saw the main event from SmackDown. Because essentially, you know, if that would have been one of those SmackDown matches at some point, if Fish was up and Danielson was still on the roster,
would have been, but it was not. So nonetheless, they did announce the brackets for the Eliminator tournament. The winner of which will receive an AEW championship match. So in the first round, you're going to have Moxley versus 10 from the Dark Order. Gee, I wonder who's going over there. Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Dustin Rhodes versus Bryan Danielson. Again, I wonder who's going over there. And then on the other side, and then last but not least, you have Lance Archer versus Eddie Kingston. So we'll see how everything shakes out. I think that we can pretty much make the comment that the finals of this tournament will end up coming down to Moxley versus Danielson. And who wins from there? Who knows? I'm figuring that it's going to be Danielson though. Danielson's going to win the tournament, and he will end up going on to face Adam Page for the championship.
There you go, baby.
No,
that's the other guy.
That's Adam Cole.
Yeah.
I know that you don't watch the product, so that the guys look the same to you.
They don't look the same, but they definitely got the same name, at least the first name. So every time I hear Adam, baby.
Do you also suck on your water bottle so tightly when you say baby?
Anyways, are you done, Sin City?
Oh, I'm done.
Oh, thank you. Give Simon Street something to do. NXT.
Yeah. So pretty much,
come on, Simon, let's fill some time.
Yeah,
you didn't watch it, so we're okay.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
Oh, I did watch it. Lick my ass. No, NXT 2.0. Pretty decent show. I mean, it was solid. It wasn't nothing totally crazy until the end part. But a couple of things before I get to that. One person that keeps standing out week after week, and I have to go and mention because I'm wondering. I know they have plans for this gentleman, along with other people on there, but Zion Quinn, dude is a beast. But I want to see him go against somebody a little bit more elite on the roster to kind of see what he's looking like. I know right now that, he's showcasing running through, these people that I call, thank you for showing up, drop out, get your GED, as was this week with Malik Blade. Cool name. Thank you for showing up. Malik destroyed the fuck out of him really quickly. But I'm interested to see what you guys take on on Zion Quinn, because when I think about him, and I think about the title picture, I don't see Tommaso Ciampa holding on to that title very much longer. I definitely see it, what's coming up with Halloween Havoc, possibly that title changing hands. Who would you like to see Zion Quinn go, in NXT?
I got a better question for you, Simon Street, just real quick. Can you impersonate, just right quick, can you impersonate Flavor Flav for us? Just anything, just impersonate Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav, like.
that was for Chris. That was for Chris.
I'm just trying to figure out, like,
Chris, you owe me. You owe me. All right. I saw what you were saying when you threw that out there.
That's what he always has, like the team. Anyways, other than that, I mean, other things going on in NXT. Obviously, Ivy Nile had her debut match, looking strongly impressive. She's really, really good. And, I really feel like there's something that's there that can do a lot with her. Immediately right after that, you had another member of the Diamond Mine, Julius Creed. He went up against Iko Manjuro, who never takes his jacket off in a match and seems to always get beat. But he looks great with some of his moves, so appreciate him. Other than that, also too, you had got to see Von Wagner finally with Kyle O'Reilly. Really interested. It's another big guy. He looks like Edge on steroids. Basically, if you Super Saiyan Edge, he'd look like Von Wagner. They did an excellent job as well. Other than that, the biggest thing was the end of the night. Is you had Swerve Scott, defend his North American NXT Championship against Santos Escobar. As you know, that match went really good, down to it, back and forth, back and forth. Interesting enough, I knew that Swerve was going to go over. They had no idea how they were going to transition him because he did get drafted to SmackDown with the rest of Hit Row. So I knew something was in the work. Lo and behold, totally forgot about Carmelo Hayes. He came out and assisted him with help to help him win the match. And so immediately when I saw him help with the match, I was like, you know what? This is what's going to happen. He's going to get turned on. And sure as fuck he did. And Carmelo turned in his contract from the tournament he won. And you now have a new North American championship, which is interesting enough because I have never seen that quick of a month turnaround from him winning that contract to him cashing it in. Usually they try to hold on to that for a little bit longer. But yeah, looking good. So now we know that Swerve is going to be on SmackDown permanently. That's going to be his most likely send off. NXT for the most part. I mean, it wasn't a horrible show, but it was solid. That's it.
Yeah, they definitely liking Carmelo for sure.
He's very gritty.
Yeah. But I don't see any issue with him. I think he's definitely a star to make it. Hey, Sean put down, Vince is about to change Cameron Grimes' character. No wonder AEW is signing WWE talents. Okay.
Don't doubt it. They got a lot of people NXT with last names. Guarantee when they get up to the main roster, they ain't going to have no last name.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see if he does anything with Grimes. I think that if it comes from the mouth of one Dave Meltzer, you could either be, you could either be eating cake or eating a big pile of shit. And from Meltzer, it's usually a big pile of shit. So,
yeah, that has been determined to be true, Matt Michaels. Thank you for that. Impact Wrestling. I'm so excited. Yes, I am. Thank you. The big pay-per-view.
Oh, Impact,
that's the most emotion.
Wait, that was exciting. If I would have said Impact Wrestling now, pay-per-views come up this Saturday, I'm so excited. I think you would have been kind of like, that don't sound exciting. But I would have said, oh, I'm so excited. Gets it, right?
Someone
clip that. Someone clip that.
No, Sin City. Impact, it's only exciting if you lift your shirt up like it's Mardi Gras. And then somebody throws some beads at you.
No. No, we don't need to get demonetized or kicked off of any channels, okay?
We won't.
Dude, we seriously need him to fucking lose a tooth because this is just too fucking...
What are you talking about? You know you love my shit right here, man. This shit is quality, fucking quality.
I don't know about the content of the show, but the imagery is fucking brilliant.
We have to let Impact do this show recap. He showed more emotion when he was talking about Impact Wrestling just now than he ever has since he's been doing this show. So we got to let him talk, guys.
Wait, he's not done?
Whatever. All right, man. So everything's leading up to Bound for Glory, which I'm excited for. The X Division title. We knew that Trey Miguel was in it. We knew that Steve Macklin was in it, but we still needed one more name. And it was going to be between El Phantasmo, Rohit Raju, or Willie Mack. Now, being that, I would ask you guys, but I know Steve reads it and Matt probably came across it and Simon don't give a fuck. So let's just give you the answer. It's El Phantasmo will be the third person for that. So it's gonna be, that's gonna be an awesome X Division title match right there.
Dude, isn't he in NXT?
Yeah, you know, El Gato del Fantasma.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's Simon's favorite faction.
There you go.
And he took his headphones off so I can talk all the shit I want.
That's true. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we do have him for that. So that's looking to be great. They had a battle royal where, of course, we have the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, which is going to take place. And in the Battle Royal that they had this past Thursday night, the winner of that actually gets to be number 20, the last person to enter into that Call Your Shot. And, of course, it ended up being W. Morrissey. So, yeah, I mean, with him being the last one, you can almost say that he's going to end up winning this. Remember, the winner of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match gives you a future title shot, which you can use anytime at any place. Now, just for you guys who maybe didn't know, there was a release that we dropped on Saturday. Impact Wrestling's own Moose. We got a chance to talk with him. It's exciting for everyone who download and listen. Thank you. For those who haven't got a chance to download it, please do. We got a chance to get what his thoughts were and what role that he's going to play in this upcoming event that's going to happen with the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. And, you know, even when he has some words about W. Morrissey, I mean, these are two big guys, right? So who knows? If you haven't got a chance to listen to that, please download that. Moose was awesome to finally get a chance to have a conversation with, and I think you will enjoy that. Now, also at the show that they're going to have this weekend for Bound for Glory, they're going to finally crown the first ever digital media champion. Now, if you've been following it, it should be a lot easier, especially for folks like you, Simon Street, because it's all on either YouTube or it's on Impact Plus. I know that one is a paid subscription, but in other words, it's through social media and everything, but through their being on television. So they're going to finally crown someone from there. Now, there's one more group that's going to be up for that championship, but right now it's going to be between John Schuyler versus Crazy Steve, Fala Ba versus Jordan Grace. Because, yes, women can be a part of it, too. And then there's a mystery. And I think we find out that mystery coming up this week on by this Thursday's show. So we'll find out who will be the first ever digital media champion, which would get crowned also this weekend. And this part, I got to tell you, Swingers Palace, guys, they finally shut the doors on Swingers Palace on this past week. Swinger Palace was just a great place for a lot of the talent who wasn't being used to be a part of, this whole thing that they created where it was illegal underground gambling. And they finally closed up shop because, of course, now that they're coming to Vegas, none of that illegal underground gambling stuff is going to work. So it was great to see what they did with that and how they fully went through, did an entire reminder of all the things that has happened since the time it started up to its downfall. But yeah, that no more of Swingers Palace. I actually wanted a shirt, so I can have it right next to my Caesar Palace.
15 minutes talking about Swingers Palace.
You know what? Swingers Palace is actually pretty awesome. Would you rather wear down the street in Vegas a Swingers Palace or a Caesar's Palace shirt?
I'd rather not.
That's right. A Swingers Palace. You're right. And the good thing about it is that, unfortunately, we're not going to have any more of the show to watch on there, but we do have his shirts we can still buy. That's exciting. Heath.
Sometimes we just have to call you DJ Street because your rundowns are fucking the whole fucking show. Swingers Palace.
Oh my God. Matt Michaels, go smoke on what you were smoking on earlier. All right.
But I have a question. If I got a Swingers Palace shirt, and I had a beautiful wife such as the one you have, and I'm walking down Boulder Highway, I got to be honest with you, man. I'd have some concerns because then somebody might try to grab your wife. You can go to prison because you won't have to kill somebody. So you got to be more specific when you're talking about a Swingers Palace for those who don't have access and watch Impact.
It's a shirt.
Is it a shirt?
Right. It's a shirt. All right. So Heath finally signs the contract. He's official now with Impact. So that's exciting. And he got himself in a match, which I was telling you last week, I had no idea why they were focusing so much on Rhino, but I guess it's because of Heath. Heath has decided that he's going to take on Violent by design, but he wants Rhino by his side. Now, there's a chance that Rhino might not show up this Saturday, and it could be Heath versus Violent by design. But if Rhino does show up, at least it'll be an equal sort of footing for that match. So we'll see if we see Rhino. Who knows? But outside of that, man, everything, of course, is leading to everything we've been wanting to see. Christian Cage. I think I'm going to do a voices in my head, guys.
Please do, because I mean, the way it's going right now, the voices are really talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, and I'm going. I think I'm going to let all of that out this Friday, and let everybody know about that. Because you're right, they're really talking right now.
In fact, on Friday, if you want, you could do a 50-minute fucking thing just on the history of Impact.
I kind of heard what you said, but yeah, Simon Street volume went up an extra 100%, and it's like extremely loud now. So I don't know what he's doing. His computer's having all types of issues. But nevertheless, Impact Wrestling, guys, last thing I'm really going to say about it is if you're in the Vegas area, just come by. They only got a small amount of tickets left, but it is at Sam's Town. And try to come through and see the show. It's exciting to have another wrestler promotion here. They will be back in November again, but let's just show out and have a great time at this show. 7 p.m. I believe is showtime for Saturday, and then of course they have it's 5. I'm sorry, you're right, 5. And then I think I was looking at the what was that Central Time, and then of course the TV tapings will be that Sunday and that Monday. So if you're available to attend those, do that as well. All right, cool. Ring of Honor, they just did a couple of matches. Last week, I was talking about how Soldiers of Savagery, of course, they are part of the 6-man tag team belts, but they were going to go up against Dragon Lee and Kenny King for their RH World Tag Team title. So winning this could have pretty much gave them 2 belts. But what it ended up coming down to is Dragon Lee and Kenny King keeping those belts because Bestia came down from LFI, interfered in the match. And by the time Shane got down there, it was too late. So still your ROH World Tag Team Champions, Dragon Lee and Kenny King. There was also a 808, the Foundation, which of course is Jay Lethal and Rhett Titus, Tracy Williams, and Jonathan Grisham. And then they had a match against Taylor Russ, Eli Isom, the world famous CB, and Joe Keys. So they're on this whole idea of trying to keep wrestling pure. I like the Foundation. I like them as wrestlers more than I like what they're trying to, the message they're trying to put out under their group, and it's great. I get it. They're trying to keep wrestling pure and, they don't care for the gimmicks. It's just straight up the wrestling and these rules. And I get it. That's fun. It's great to see. But at some point, I'm going to need the Foundation and just go ahead and break up that foundation and just get all dirty and gritty again, So I'm sure that happened, but nevertheless, they had their match and they won their match. And of course, after it was over, everybody did the handshaking because that's the way it's supposed to be in wrestling. And that was Ring of Honor right there, guys. New Japan, Sin City Steve. I'm going to let you talk about the G1 Climax, but hey, guess what? didn't everybody want to know what happened to good old Buddy Murphy? Huh? Buddy Murphy, Simon Street. Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, Buddy Murphy. What about him?
Matt Michaels. You remember that guy? It was
And Michael said, "Fuck." He said, "Fuck Buddy Murphy."
He clearly didn't give a shit.
Yeah, he just left the room.
He said, "Fuck that motherfucker." But yes, you were telling us about Buddy Murphy. I'm all ears.
Yeah, man. Well, he's going to be a part of New Japan, so that's
as he should.
Yeah, I mean, there were rumors.
That's what he got big. Like, to be honest with you, I mean, before he got back to WWE, Wrighton City, he went to New Japan and kind of, really built a career for himself and a name for himself. So it makes sense. Go back to where you were good or well utilized.
Yeah, well, they did a pretty cool promo to welcome him, to explain kind of what his role going to be, and it was kind of cool. It was about a minute long, and we'll see him. There was rumors, of course, that he could have ended up at Impact. So I hadn't heard much from him since that whole thing, so I didn't know if that was going to be a surprise. I do feel there's going to be some surprises. I could be wrong, and if there's not, I'm not going to be upset, but I feel there will be a surprise coming up this weekend. So I thought maybe he would have been one of them, but he isn't. But nevertheless, he is with New Japan, Sin City. What's your take on that, man, as you get ready to tell us about the G1?
So I think
and he goes by the name, I forgot, Buddy Matthews now, right? That's going to be the name he goes by, Buddy Matthews. Go ahead.
When Matthews was first released from WWE, I think that a couple of us on the show had mentioned that New Japan would probably be the best landing spot for him. Mm-hmm. So I am in full agreement between, Impact and New Japan. I would have been fine with either place. And as we know, the forbidden door is kicked wide open, so he could show up in Impact. But realistically speaking, it looks like as if he's going to be a part of New Japan, which I'm excited to see because he is a great worker. And I think that he can do great things, especially in their junior heavyweight division. And if things go according to, how they very well could, he could also be a part of the standard heavyweight division. Elsewhere, though, let's talk about the G1 climax. The G1 31 tournament is winding down. There's only one more. Everyone in the tournament has one final match remaining. And your standings heading into the very end in the A block. It's knotted up. There are 4 people that are tied for the lead. You've got Zack Sabre Jr., Kota Ibushi, Shingo Takagi, and Kenta, all with 12 points. Tomohiro Ishii with 10. Great Okan, Toru Yano with 8. Tangaloa and Yujiro Takahashi with 4. And as we've talked about, Tetsuya Naito withdrew from the tournament with 0 points. Over there on that B block, though, we have leading the pack.
Yes, here we go.
And standing alone by himself, Jeff Cobb.
Yes.
With 16 points.
Jeff Cobb is the man.
And why is Jeff Cobb by himself on the top of the rankings so far? Well, it's because Tama Tonga played spoiler and defeated Kazuchika Okada just on the 14th of October. So actually let's see here. The 20th of October will be the final match in that B block tournament. And it just so happens to be, it's almost like as if they're booking this shit. Jeff Cobb versus Kazuchika Okada. And Jeff Cobb can win the tournament without necessarily winning the match. He does not have to beat Okada. The two can have a draw, and he will still win that half of the block.
So this is pretty much his. It should be anyway.
Unless Okada beats him, then yes. If Okada beats him, then things get a little bit hairy. But I think that, you know, if I had to guess, I think that they're gonna do the whole the draw thing and have Cobb come out of that block. And I'd like to see him go up against Takagi. I would love to see him go up against Shingo from the A block.
Yeah.
And why not have him knock off Takagi to get a championship match against Takagi?
Right.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So there's that. That's kind of where we are. One more night in the tournament there. And just another quick little note.
Yes.
Will Ospreay's United Empire faction gained a new member.
Oh.
We're talking about TJP.
It's nice.
Very interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Very interesting.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So shout out to TJP.
Oh, man, sorry guys. I thought I had to take a Buddy Murphy, but it ended up being a Bloody Matthews.
You should really get that checked out, man. I mean, was there a lot of blood?
Oh man.
It was horrible. It was like Ric Flair in a steel cage.
It's a lot of blood.
Yeah, coming from the anus.
Wow, anal bleeding.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you much for that, Sid City. I guess we covered it. Is there anything wrestling else? Does anyone want to mention local or some other promotion you want to shout out there while we're still here?
Yeah, I definitely want to go ahead and shout out Matt Michaels' asshole. It's been through a lot, and we hope for a speedy recovery so that way the shit that spews out of it on a weekly basis we can all enjoy frequently.
Okay.
On a more serious note, Big Valley Wrestling, Ricky Tenacious put on a show this weekend to have proceeds for to benefit the LGBTQ community center here in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great cause. It was a show that had one very, very big, I guess, kind of surprise in Fresco-Matic being the new BVW champion. He cashed out his fighting championship for a title chance, and he has now got some singles gold. So hats off to Fresco for working his ass off to be making the leaps and bounds that he's been making this year. It's been great to see.
Awesome. Well, good stuff. And speaking of Big Valley Wrestling, we did get a chance to talk with Ricky Tenacious, which is over that particular organization, right? And that interview that dropped, I believe that was on Thursday. So just go back and look for that if you want to know more information about it. Yes, they are pretty much promoting it, but it's good just to hear about what was going on. And when you hear about the next one, you'll want to be a part of it, So definitely for a good cause, and by all means, take a listen. Man, I guess with that, guys, if there is nothing else, we're gonna thank everybody for hanging out with our wrestling talk. If you're watching us right now, we're gonna be right back in just a second as we're gonna prepare for 3 count. But if you are listening to us, thank you for listening, and make sure to download Tuesday's episode of 3 Count. We got 3 good topics. I mean, these are really, really good topics. That's going to definitely make you want to throw in your opinion and slap somebody up the head with it. Guaranteed. All right. So until then,